Hello, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Not So Frog. This is my first video, so before I really get into this thing in front of me, let me just allow me to introduce myself. My name is Jacob Lasan. I am a 16-year-old craftsman. I make many things, such as this, which range from, knife making, like bladesmithing, knives, and general swords and stuff. From that to slingshots and just all kinds of things, really. And this is an example of that, and I guess that's the latest thing I made, so I figured I'd start with that for my first video. So, I'll get right into that. This is a Airsoft Crossbow. It shoots Airsoft BBs. I have some 20-gram black Smith & Wesson BBs with me right here. It's 100% homemade. There is nothing from an actual airsoft gun on here besides one tactical rail that I stole, but that's barely part of the action of a real airsoft gun anyways. And everything is just 100% homemade. I made it all myself. So I guess I'll bring the camera up and I'll just kind of go into detail about all the materials made and just show you what it all looks like up close. So here's a basic view of the crossbow from the front. Here's a view from the back. And let's start from the front again here. To start with, this right here is the very front of it. So this is, it's thick rubber mat. I just found it laying around. I use it to hold the bow in place so the bow doesn't fly off of the stock or fall down during shooting. And it's just secured with 2 Phillips head screws. It also, since it's rubber, it provides sound dampening. Behind that is a bit more rubber. This is latex slingshot rubber taken from just like an old store-bought slingshot. I have better rubber than that, and the one they use in the stores is kind of so I just used it for this instead. It just provides sound dampening and also just kind of clamps the bow in place more instead of going flat to that kind of rough stock. Kind of hurts the bow, I guess. The bow itself is made from an old 2-man tree saw blade. I believe it's either high-speed steel or some form of high carbon or spring steel. Either or, it's a good flexible steel and it's decently lightweight, but then again it is kind of heavy. And before, because this is actually the second iteration of this crossbow, the very first crossbow that I made had an original full steel bow of the same length as this one, and it shot very slowly. And the reason for that is because you want to have your crossbow bow to be very lightweight, and steel is not a very lightweight material. So with this bow, I switched that up and it shoots faster simply by basically halving the weight. And instead of having the weight of the steel, I have these super lightweight maple sayas, let's call them, or levers. They're also in the style of a horse bow or a flight bow. But anyways, yeah, they basically reduce a lot of the weight, and they also turn the bow into a nice recurve shape, which I really like. And those sayas are lashed in place and epoxied with JB Weld. This right here is a string. It is made from a Flemish twist of just like a looped over mason line, just length, and it is served with some black fishing line. And yeah, served here, here, and here. In the middle of that is the shuttle. Now, if you don't understand what this is, allow me to explain. Basically, when you shoot a normal crossbow, the end of the bolt, or the arrow if you want to call it that, either or, it's shaped like a V, and that's because the string is going to impact in there, and it's going to lock into that V and propel it forward. With the BB, as I've sadly experienced and kind of watched a bow blow up from a dry fire, this string is going to, they're both round, right? So this string is basically just going to ramp over the BB and then keep going with nothing in front of it, dry firing your bow and not even shooting anything. So it's just kind of a sad waste of time. So the shuttle is there to propel a BB, and it's just attached to the string. The trigger sear locks into here, and the BB goes right here, and the string goes right here. It's all very solid, very secure, doesn't really go anywhere, and it works very well. These 2 prongs here form the front side of the crossbow. The back side I'll get to in a second. And it just has a little nut there, a little tiny, some kind of metric, I don't know the size. And then that's just secured in place with 2 rubber bands onto the 2 prongs. And some Theratube green is on those prongs. That's just to act as a bumper for when the string, rebounds and hits them. It'll bounce back off, making it a bit quieter instead of just a smash into the normal steel of those bolts. Right here is just a tactical rail stolen from an Airsoft AK hardware store gun. It's plastic, not very durable, but I don't know, don't really care. The reason that's there is for my future builds, which will be underbarrel launchers and stuff, like grenade launchers, master key shotguns, all that kind of stuff. This right here is basically not really a barrel, but the flight track, the flight groove, I believe it's called. Originally, it was just cut with a table saw, but it was a bit inaccurate, and it caused the BB to kind of go like this and swerve to the right, or just shoot completely erratic. So I eliminated that by taking a 6mm internal diameter, I think 1/4 inch outside diameter piece of brake line, and I just epoxied that into the stock, and then sanded it down by hand and with files, and sanded it flush to the stock. So it forms a halved track, basically, which really tight fitting to the BB and tight fitting to the sled there. So there's no accuracy issues anymore. Moving on back here, this is the whole setup for a couple of things. Let's start right here. This is a spring-loaded detent for holding the BB back, just so when you aim down and the BB is going to roll down the track, it just stops the BB from doing so. Spring-loaded with a bit of Dankung 1632 small diameter rubber on there, and that's just to, you know, give it a bit of flexibility that the spring detent doesn't normally have, because you don't want to put too much, you know, spring into the BB or else it'll slow it down. And that right there is just a little feeding tube, just to make things easier instead of jamming your fingers in there and putting a BB in, or muzzle loading it and stuff. Just drop it through the tube. Just, you know, it just goes through the little brake line tube. That's just the flared end of the same brake line that I had there, that 6mm internal diameter, and I just, you know, drilled the whole friction fit into this piece of plexiglass. There's lots of plexiglass here. I think it's a good material for any sort of airsoft build because it is 1/4 inch or around 6mm in width, so it'll work good with any sort of mechanism that needs to be the width of an airsoft BB. This right here is also made from plexiglass. It is the trigger, and the trigger is just a one-piece trigger sear mechanism taken from Jorg Sprov's design on YouTube. The safety is on. I'll pull that out. Safety is really primitive, I know, but I'm not a gunsmith, so don't blame me. The spring you can see up there is held in place with just a rubber band, and yeah, it's just a simple one-piece trigger sear. I use that because it's simple, no maintenance needed, and also because you have a low draw weight bow. So there's not much, you know, hard of a trigger pull. No, not very hard. Next up, you can see there's little spacers there, just kind of keeping everything in line. That's just all plexiglass. This right here is your rear sight, your peep sight. It is adjustable for windage and for elevation. And it's really simple, but really sturdy, and although it looks kind of apocalyptic, it actually works. It's a nice build. See, you just look through your peep sight, if I can get the camera to focus there. Yeah, and then you look through your peep sight, and then through there you just line it up, your target with the little nut there, and those are your two sights. Iron sights, basically. And that is just a washer, get the focus, yeah, a washer, some bolts, and some simple birch multiplex. And the last part is just the stock. The stock is cut from, I believe it's Douglas fir. Really simple. I hand sanded, hand filed, did a bit of sanding with my belt sander over there, but mostly hand sanded to get some nice smooth curves on it and everything. Strong, sturdy stock. The grain is nice too. And it's kind of, you know, it's softwood looking, so it's not very beautiful, but it doesn't need to be any intense walnut or anything. There's not much stuff it has to hold on to. But yeah, that's the whole crossbow. I guess I'll just show you the loading process, and then maybe I'll do some shooting. Okay, so the loading process is really simple. Just like a normal crossbow, you're just going to put it like this. If I can get that from the camera, I hope it's there. Like that. I'm going to grab it right here. Well, actually, I'll go right here so you can see it better. There, that might be better. Okay. Put your fingers on here. I could put a stirrup, but I don't feel like it. That creaking, don't worry about that. That's just the rubber on the front, despite what you think. It's not the wood. And it just clicks into place like that. The detent is loaded and everything. I'm just going to adjust it right there. And then you just grab yourself a BB. I'll bring this up to the camera so you can see how it works. If you can see that there, grab yourself a BB, and there you go. You load it and you're ready to go. Yeah, I'll show you a shot right here. I'll just hold the camera with my hand. Sorry about that. Okay, and hit that plastic thing right there. Nice, fast, easy, accurate shooter. Actually, let's do some shots right now then. So I'm just going to take a shot with 20 gram BB. You can see that there. I'll stand back a bit. That's some thicker cardboard. Didn't penetrate all the way through. Well, it didn't go all the way through, but it penetrated enough that it would have. So that's, yeah, it works. And now I'm just going to do like just a distance shot. Just shoot from me over to the back wall there. Probably about 20 to 30 feet. And you can just listen for the impact. The shot versus the impact, and just kind of hear the speed. So I'll just load it up here. Everything's good. Yeah, just listen for the shot and the impact. Yeah. So about, speed of a spring pistol airsoft gun. Not too fast, not too slow. So yeah, as you can see, it's no speed demon, but it shoots well enough. And I mean, it's supposed to simulate a crossbow. If you have like a real recurve crossbow, they can shoot fast if you have an extreme draw weight. This has a very low draw weight. If you have any high draw weight, shooting a BB, it's like dry firing a crossbow. It's going to blow up. That's why I chose low draw weight. So yeah, it's not too fast, not too slow. It's about as fast as I'd say an airsoft spring pistol, 140 feet per second to 200 feet per second, around there. If not a little bit lower, I'm not sure. Not too fast either way. Yeah, it's just a generally nice looking build. It does what it's supposed to do, and I respect that. And there's really no extra thing you need to add. It's just a crossbow. Pull it back, load it up, shoot. There's no need for like a magazine or any sort of crazy deal. Will it be used in airsoft? Yeah, I'll try my best to use it. Is it a weapon for everybody? No. Is it a weapon for specialized people like me who use all these like crazy stealth weapons and stuff? Yep, big time. It's decently quiet, not too loud, and I think that's going to give me an advantage. It's also very simple. I'm a guy who doesn't like to maintain stuff all the time. No maintenance needed with this, really, unless it's like covered in mud and dirt. Clean it up, but otherwise, no maintenance. Everything is super simple. Simple to load, simple to use, simple to look at. And as I said, yeah, like, looks good. Easy to look at. And, it's really simple. Once I explain everything, you get it. It makes sense. Like, there's not much to it, really. And that's what I like about it. It's just simplicity, So, yeah, that's the Airsoft Crossbow. A very nice thing. I'll try my best to use it, maybe get some footage of me using it during airsoft games. Really nice to hold, really nice on the hands, a good weight, not too heavy, not too light. Everything's mostly adjustable, and everything just works just like I want it. And I'm really proud of that. So, yeah, that's it then. So, this is my first video. If you'd like to see more things like this, please subscribe, because there's definitely more where this came from. And if you want to see more of like my crafts, like I was promising, I will make videos on those, such as my knives and my slingshots. They won't be as prominent as these videos. Well, maybe, I don't know. You'll have to see. Time will tell. But if you want to see more of that stuff, I will post the link to my Instagram and my Facebook in the description, and you can check those out because I post about those things. And yeah, that's it then, I guess. Thanks for watching, and like I said, if you want to see more of this, please subscribe. If you like this, well, like the video. And if there's something that you wanted to see done that I didn't do, or if there's something you'd like to compliment on, just leave a nice comment, Nothing too rude, nothing too nice, just leave a comment. And yeah, Well, I guess I'm going to get to the next video then. See you then. Thanks for watching, and bye-bye.